Unfortunately, I just started.
Just started. Perfect. All right, so I would like to introduce our evaluation team. So we have Greg Lesko, who is going to be our general evaluator.
You're not just a pretty face.
He will also be our timer, it seems. Do you want to give just a little piece about what those two roles are?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Larissa. According to the member meeting rules book of Toastmasters, as a general evaluator, I'm serving as an evaluator. It's an opportunity to practice leadership skills, including listening, critical thinking, providing feedback, and motivation. First, it says it can be intimidating to provide feedback. Oh, that's as an evaluator. That's a general evaluator. My apologies. I'm just going to evaluate the total meeting today. I do have a Cracker Jack team on my side here. I'm starting with me. I'm playing the time. So it's important that as a good speaker that you stick to the time allotted. And so we time our speakers, not only the ones giving a speech, but the table topic session and the evaluations. And so for timing, the speakers, how long are you speaking today for?
I'm giving a 1 hour and 10-minute presentation in 7 minutes. In 7 minutes.
What, 7 minutes? 7 minutes? All right, so at 6 minutes, or you want 5, 6, 7 minutes?
Probably 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8.
Thank you.
So at 6 minutes, I'll give you one finger, or do we have cards?
We do have cards. I was distracted with technology and forgot to distribute. Thank you.
That's all right.
Peggy, do you still hear us?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so at 5 minutes, I will flash the green. At 6, the yellow, and at 7, the red.
Okay.
Jeremy, how long are you speaking?
I'll take anything.
Peggy suggests a different time. I will be 5 to 7
6,
minutes.
7, 8, yeah. You will be how long?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, okay. So then 5 green, 6 yellow, 7 red.
Thank you.
Very good. And table topics, we usually go for a minute to 2 minutes for your response. So it'll be a minute, minute and a half, and 2 minutes for the cards. And the general evaluation, I think, is it 2? 2.5?
2.5, yeah.
2.5? All right, so 2, 2.5, 3 for the evaluation.
Sounds great.
And, all right, so that's it for me. And the grammarian word of the day is Susan.
The grammarian, what I do is I listen to presentations and I'm looking for words that are being misused. You use slang, sometimes it's not appropriate. Sometimes it is appropriate if it's part of your message. But I'm looking for words that are being misused and filler type words and that type of thing. Also, the word of the day is pontificate.
Oh, I love that one.
Why?
You'll see it pontificated.
Which means to express one's opinions in a very considered, annoyingly pompous and dogmatic way.
That's not how I use it.
He was
You just didn't realize.
he was pontificating about art and history. So that's the word of the day, and it is spelled Pontificate. Pontificate. None of us know what that's like, so.
Thank you, Susan. And Catherine, you're our comment for today.
I'm going to walk up to the front so I can show, although I could have just turned the computer on my Peggy. Okay, yippee, I get to be an counter for the first time. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
We could do some exercise.
I know, yeah.
Okay. Greetings, Mr. Madam Toastmaster. You're
That's me.
Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, the purpose of the counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I'll listen for overused words, including and, well, so, you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Mademoiselle.
Yes.
Well, thank you. And that's the general
Evaluation team.
evaluation team, so back to you, Liz.
All right. I would like to introduce our first speaker, which is Jeremy. And
Give a chance to
that's all right. So he has been working through the Pathways program and is giving a speech titled Navigating Pathways. So his purpose statements, the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce or review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance a speech. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate his or her understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating the technology into a speech. So with that, I will have Jeremy come up to the side.
Thank you very much, and I'm sorry I just shocked you there.
Oh, that's
Are you my
great.
evaluator?
Yes, ma'am.
There is a form for you.
6 pages.
It's a long one. I am going to take a quick stop behind the laptop here and share something. So we'll be experimenting with technology a little bit more here. Bringing up my presentation, as the introduction noted, that I will be doing a presentation on presentations. As part of the Pathways program that I'm enrolled in, there's a very structured organization to it. And this week's presentation is meant to demonstrate presentation software.
Sorry to interrupt. Can Peggy see these slides
She
separately
will
on her
once
screen?
I bring it up.
Okay,
So I just need to grab the file.
okay.
Thanks for asking.
Peggy, do you now see this on your end?
I do, thanks.
Excellent. Okay, good. Whew. So far the technology's cooperating. I'm coming back here in front of thank you. So today I'll be talking about 3 different topics. I want to provide a general overview of what Pathways is all about and the tremendous benefit that we have as a Toastmasters member to utilize this service. I'll also talk about really a demonstration, take you behind the scenes and show you what it looks like on the back end to utilize the training materials that are available, and then discuss next steps. So in terms of an overview, I have a flyer that I wanted to send around, and Ben will actually be assisting with that. Excellent, thank you. Thank you. So what this flyer is, it talks about navigating pathways. Peggy, I'll email you a copy of this after the fact. I didn't think to drop it in the chat or something to you. So again, one of these learning moments of presentation mastery. So there are 5 different core competencies that Toastmasters tries to teach its members. And they do this through 11 different pathways. You can see at the bottom, presentation mastery, the one that I'm involved in, is one of them. There's multiple different topics, something for everyone basically. Ben, there's engaging humor, there's a leadership one, there's giving effective feedback or effective coaching. So there's a lot of different menu selections for various pursuits, what you're trying to get out of the program, either personally or professionally. One of the benefits to the Pathways program is that your first one is free. So that's a tremendous takeaway. Anyone pursuing the coveted Distinguished Toastmaster, and I believe we have a DTM with us today, they have to complete 2 of these pathways in addition to other leadership roles and volunteering within the Toastmasters organization. So if anyone is interested in pursuing the DTM, pathways are the way to go. And what I hope to do today is bring you behind the scenes, like I said, and show you what it looks like from a user perspective of the pathways. I'm trying to change the slide now, Peggy, so that's what you're seeing in the background. Or maybe not seeing, you're seeing me at the podium, I think.
I see the first slide.
Okay, I'm trying to change the slide. Did the slide change for you on your end?
It does, yep.
Excellent. Okay, so what this is our landing page for our specific Toastmasters club. I shamelessly threw that in there. I didn't know that we'd have Sterling with us today. So there's our club page. You can see the login link that I've highlighted there. Once you log in, it brings you to your customized landing page. And in this case, I'll be going to Basecamp. Basecamp is what houses your learning path, whatever you're on, and there could be multiple. An interesting aside, you'll see that I did change up my profile image. I think, Ben, you've been in here, you put your own image in
Yes,
there.
I did.
But there's a way to personalize your own look and feel. I use the Sergeant at Arms, a little badge looking thing. I thought that was kind of a fun play there. So once you click on go to Basecamp, Peggy, I'm changing the slide again. You should see an overall landing page. Peggy, it looks like it advanced it on your side, Peggy.
Yeah, everything's looking good.
Okay, thank you for confirming. So what this is, it provides some introductory materials to help you get acquainted or oriented to pathways. I'm enrolled in Presentation Mastery. I could be enrolled in multiple ones at once, or if I was a member of other Toastmasters clubs, I could be pursuing a parallel path. I know some people do that to try to advance to the DTM. But I'll just click on Open here, and what that will do is bring me into my progression. So I've already completed levels 1 and 2. That's why these are checked off. And I'm currently working through level 3, like the introduction described. The last time I spoke, I did creating effective visual aids. For those of you who were here, you may recall that was not very effective because the technology just didn't cooperate, and ended up going from like a 7-minute talk to 15 minutes as we waited for the computers and things to come back online. So in this case, it's a little bit more of a simplified presentation because I'm just working within PowerPoint, and that's what what you're hearing today is using presentation software. Once you drill into the program, it's really effective learning tool. There's a combination of great visuals like you see here. There's snippets on what the expectations are for the deliverable. There is engaging content. You click through and learn about it. There's video clips that you'll see next. I'm not actually going to play the video clip, but you'll see here is the purpose statement, and that's what was read to you during the introduction. Here's a sample of what the video clips look like. This one was an 8-minute or so clip. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're longer, but it's just really engaging technology. And then finally, it gives you any tools associated with your project. Just before my talk, I handed off a 6-page document to Susan that she was remarking about, and what that was is an evaluation. So the pathway tells me what factors I'm being evaluated on, and it gives me a tool to do that. So I hope what you've just seen gave you a little bit of a glimpse behind what the pathways are all about. For me, it's provided a structure as I progress through my own pathway within Toastmasters, and I invite others who aren't yet participating in the Pathways program to take some action, hop in there and explore. So try it out for yourself at Toastmasters International. And again, I didn't know that we would have a dignitary with us today, but District 65 did just push out an email that hopefully many of you received. There is further learning on this topic of pathways, and I believe it's Zoom, but it's coming up on January 20th, and I plan to attend, and I hope to see many of you there as well. Peggy, hopefully you're still there, are you?
I'm here.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm just trying to stop the presentation in the background.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks for bringing up that the session this weekend. That was kind of a late news we got this week, so it was great that you were able to hear that.
Perfect. All right. And next, for our next speaker, we have Ben. Would you like to do your own introduction?
I can do my own introduction.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We have a new.
Oh, hey, Paul, how you doing?
So,
Hello, welcome.
I use my influencer talents to bring a gentleman who, this is not part of my speech.
Yeah,
Don't say
I'm still bringing it up.
Yeah.
I haven't started time.
On Mondays, I sit at the gallery at the Oakdale Mall. I'm part of the Fine Arts Society. So he was walking around the mall and he came in and we talked about fine arts, and they're giving away 6 months free membership. So I signed Paul up to 6 months free membership. And I also told him about some things I do. Like last night, on Wednesdays, I'm involved in an improv group. He came by, first time out, outstanding improver. And yeah. So, and then we talked about today. I said, well, Toastmasters are tomorrow. You can improve your public speaking. So there he is. God bless you. Thanks for coming.
Nice to meet you, Paul.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I'm going to be terrorizing the group
Oh, love that.
because I'm part of the Community Emergency Response Team. And probably I'm starting to speak when I get back there. Okay. I was going to have Jeremy try it. He's out, as a mutual exchange. But he's trying to get the PowerPoint presentation going. So whatever one talks about, yeah, that one. I had to give a presentation to the community. Every once in a while they run a new, well, maybe I'll wait till I get up there before I start talking. Because otherwise, time will disappear. How we doing over there, Jeremy?
Peggy, do you see the slide?
I do, yes.
So you just push the down button and it changes?
So over here.
Which one?
This right here.
Oh, okay.
If it's easier, I can just hit for you.
No, okay. I'm gonna be behind here anyway.
Peggy, do you still see that?
I do, yeah. Thanks for asking.
Okay, this is the Community Emergency Response Team I'm a part of. And we're gonna meet next Wednesday on Wayne Drive in Endwell. And we have a gentleman that's in charge. He has a team of about 20 people, and we're trained to respond to any kind of disasters. I said, which is a no-no. Again, there it is. Get these up out of me. I'm pausing, long pause. I've spoken so much and I have a radio show and I never get flustered on the radio show. Emergency Response Team. I'll put our title up there. It's progressing. Is there a delay, Jeremy? Go page down. It's PowerPoint. Well, that's exciting.
She's going to get, in with it. Her husband. He's busy. Oh, she would have
Maybe he doesn't like seeing this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's the one I clicked before, but it didn't seem to work. I was asked to run terrorism training at one of those sessions that they had. They bring in new groups of people, and then there's 9 different chapters in a thick book, and they asked me to teach about terrorism. So I volunteered to do that. It's an hour and 10-minute process, but I'm only giving you a few minutes of it. How come this is not showing up there?
Do you want to click that button again?
What's on my screen is not up there. That's what I was expecting. This is not effective use of technology. There. Skip it. There's a page down about this. Usually the one I use for PowerPoint. Oh, then the next slide pops up.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of delay, it looks like. Sorry.
That's,
You're not,
I don't know what that is.
you're an autoplay, yeah, slideshow
Oh.
with a 3-second interval.
I didn't realize there was a picture yet. There was, on my screen, there was green where you see people, It was green, but I did this artwork because they were having a competition to have a new logo, not a logo, but a mascot for the Community Emergency Response Team. So I drew this in AutoCAD, and I was going to submit that, but they had show some kid to use a cartoon. Let's go back. Where is it? I think this is the video playing, which wasn't on the one that I, okay. You have the definitions of terrorism that I passed out, and there's different kind of terrorisms. There's a kind that we expect, like 9/11, things that happened there, and we know how bad that was. When that happened, after the second one came down, I went home from work, and I just stayed there, and I called up the Army recruiters. I was 59 years old, thinking that we're going to war, and they said I was too old, so we couldn't do that. But I was really scared when that happened, because you see 2 airplanes come and then 2 things fall down and you never know what's going to happen. So we're subject to foreign attacks. And when I got deployed to New York City when I was working with FEMA, and there was these, next to a few poles, there was these giant nitrogen tanks. You know, I mean, they're that tall, probably that big around in different locations. So I called the police department to tell them, you know, I think the nitrogen's used in explosives, so that could be a problem there. Oh no, he said, the cables underground are so hot they have to refrigerate them. What was I thinking? But domestic attacks like January 6th is something we've never seen before, where people actually declare war on America and attack the parts that America is really fond of. You know, they're just trying to wreak havoc. And that 2,500 Americans assaulted the Capitol, 140 police officers damaged, and 1,000 people been arrested. So that's something. Local domestic attacks are random, and there's questions about why do people do that, and they're just nuts in the head. They get overzealous about something. The lone attacks like the Boston bombers, things like that happen. Now, what possibly can be your purpose? People are out having fun in a road race, and then they just make these pressure cooker bombs to blow off people's legs. When I was doing the training at last time we had the training at the office there, I was talking about the mass shooter, where a gentleman, he shot off 1,000 bullets into a crowd of 22,000 people, so many people dead, and a woman raised her hand, and she had been there at that concert in Las Vegas when the gentleman started shooting, and she was just talking about what a wreck it was, and very, very disappointing that something like that can happen. There's so much screaming, so loud. And what are the goals and the tactics of terrorists? They come in, they just wreak havoc, social objectives. And their goals are to influence government policy, achieve specific objectives, which is kind of hard to describe what possibly somebody's objective can have by creating havoc. Undermine the public sense of safety. It's just like there was a shootout in a theater one time, and why would somebody go to a nice peaceful place like that and just start shooting people? Active shooters are scared. They go into schools. That Sandy Hook and everything, they end up tearing down buildings, tearing down schools because it's such a bad reminder of what was done. That's my 7-minute flag, depending on when you started. And then cyber attacks. Jeremy gave us a presentation a while ago about cyber attacks, which are generally just financially motivated perhaps, but when someone can disrupt an entire government by hacking into the wrong things. FBI, there's on the bottom of this sheet that I passed out, there's a corner that says, see something, send something. So if you notice anything, like somebody's loading up a bunch of fertilizer into a rental truck, you can, using this app, you can contact, it automatically goes to people responsible to search out any kind of problems. And you can be the hero if you can save somebody from causing some kind of havoc. Signs of terrorism, there's 8 different ones. And surveillance, if you see somebody looking around at something, or they're kind of antsy about what they're reviewing outside of a federal building or something important, or even outside of school. You get a couple people talking to themselves, walking around the school, trying to plan an entrance. That's can be a problem. So people can be testing security. They want to see where the cameras are. I don't see any cameras in here, so we should be pretty safe. But WSKG can be a subject of terrorism because they're a public entity. Somebody could break in, want to take over the cameras, take over projecting. It'd be very uncomfortable. People, funding, acquiring supplies, impersonating police officers, or saying that they're FBI, and they rehearse some dry runs, and they have to work to deploy. Assuming there's a group of people in a terrorist type activity, they would have to deploy things. I was working at a concrete plant a while ago, and this woman, she was Muslim, and everybody knew that. But I was outside one day. I'm an office guy, but I'm outside, and she's taking these exaggerated steps, taking these big, which I thought was unusual. Then she goes like this, and she swoops down like that. And I thought, oh, that is one peculiar gesture. Is she taking yoga, or what is she doing? And then about a month later, the 9/11 attack came, and I'm thinking, she might have been part of that, because she just spontaneously quit. And I'll never forget that gesture. That it's almost like airplane coming down. And she could have been part of the. I wasn't part of the see something, say something thing, so I didn't say anything. All types of disasters and emergency. The part that I'm with, the community emergency response team, is we're more trained for accidents, train wrecks, airplane crashes, weather anomalies. A while ago, I was deployed to town of Shenango. Town of Shenango had a warming room, and so the power was out, so we assembled different warming rooms in different places, and they could come into the building and be secure and safe. But there's a whole lot more on this, because it was an hour and 10-minute presentation, but I've given you 7 minutes of stuff. These are the type of disasters and terror that you can look forward to. If there's any opportunity and you see something amiss, please see something, send something, say something. Protect yourself.
Thank you, Ben. That was very informative.
Stumbling as it was.
I commend you for working through some technical difficulties as we're all adjusting. The next portion of our meeting is the table topics. So for Gina and Paul, you guys are welcome to participate if you'd like, but you can also bow out if you don't feel comfortable.
We put you on the spot your first visit.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, we won't bite.
I promise you wouldn't have to talk, just so you know. I said she could just only listen and not have to talk.
But we didn't. We didn't promise.
But Jake is our table topics master, and if you want to give a little piece about what the table topics are.
Sure.
So table topics are just quick 1 to 2 minute speeches that are impromptu with no preparation, and they are randomly selected. So I'll be choosing some people and putting them on the spot to answer one question each, and quickly give a 1 to 2 minute speech on that. So I guess I'll just start. Let's see. Catherine seemed to raise her hand a little bit, so you've got a volunteer, that makes my job easy. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Since we do have a theme for 2024, let's go with what is something you would like to see in 2024, and what is something you wouldn't like to see? And it could be personal, or it could be broadly socio-political, whatever you'd like it to be.
In 2024, I'm looking forward to my first full year of retirement. I intend to see a new hip in 5 weeks. Ooh. When I get my new hardware, I'm gonna have a good excuse for putting on a few pounds. So I'm not going to see the scale go down on my weight, which is fine. I will pontificate about working out, because that has been a crucial thing for me to do prior to, I'm calling it prehabbing, I don't know if that's really a word.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of exercises now. What I'm really looking forward to in 2024 is after I get this hip, I'm looking forward to walking and stepping up and down stairs without pain. I'm going to take salsa dancing lessons. I'm going to go to yoga classes without having grimacing looks on my face. I'm also going to be on a cruise right before I get the new hip. So I plan to do everything that I can do on that thing with pain meds and the free alcohol, I guess, that they have. I'm not much of a drinker, but I will be for that 1 week. And I'm looking forward to feeling like a brand new woman and saying yes to everything, not only Toastmasters, which this has been a lot of fun, but anything that requires my physical person to be really peppy and without pain. So that's what I'm doing.
We're gonna send you in for that see something, say something with the pain meds and alcohol.
Probably shouldn't have mentioned that.
Yeah, where do I get the free alcohol? So yeah, myself as well, trying to get a little more exercise done. I think that's kind of a general resolution for a lot of people. So next, let's go with Susan. Putting you on the spot. All right, so the question is, what's a movie scene that never fails to make you laugh? Describe the scene and explain why it's so funny.
A movie scene that never fails to make me laugh. I'm gonna flip that and make that a movie scene that never fails to make me cry.
Perfect.
I remember as a child, I lived across the river from the Unadilla Drive-In. If any of you have ever been up that way, I lived on the other side of the Susquehanna River. It was wonderful. We would go sit in our summer house. We could hear the movies. If they'd only turned the screen around, we could have seen them too. We kept hearing all this noise, this one movie that was playing. It was Alfred Hitchcock and the Birds. So my father and my mother, not knowing what the movie was about, decided they were going to take us to the movies. Well, we went to the Unadilla Drive-In and we watched Alfred Hitchcock and the Birds. I was 6 years old. I remember sitting behind my father, and that was back before you had headrests on cars. So he's my arm right around his neck, and I am screaming, like, what is going on here? Get us out of here. And then I started to just sob. I was terrified, because I grew up out in the country, and there were birds everywhere. And so we finally did leave, and to this day, when I see Alfred Hitchcock and the Birds, I think some of the tears I feel now is because I remember my dad. But I remember I was just so traumatized by that movie. Never fails.
That's a good flip of the answer. I like that. I personally, The Exorcist always scared me. I saw that when I was probably 11. It was freaky. Couldn't finish it.
The green soup.
Yeah.
The head turning.
Once the head turned, I was done. I left. Didn't watch the rest of it. It wasn't until later that I ended up seeing the end. Okay, so next, let's go with Peggy. Peggy, can you hear us?
What?
Do you want to try a table topic?
Sure.
Okay, let's go with, what is your biggest pet peeve? What do you do when it happens? And if you could, would you outlaw it?
Ooh.
Well, I'm going to turn to driving. By driving, I try to be very considerate when I drive, and my pet peeve is those who aren't considerate. I can almost relate the fact that I had recently got a new car. It's a 4-cylinder. My car I had before that was a 6-cylinder, so I had no trouble stomping on the gas and getting where I needed to go. And then I got this 4-cylinder and realized that I can't do that anymore. And I've actually been a much more calmer driver because I know I can't pull out and do things. And I coast into things because I always remember my grandfather saying, "You're going to ruin your brakes. You're going to ruin your brakes. Just coast into a stop light." So I'm more calmer when I drive. I give myself space because I don't want to stomp on the brakes, but then at the same time, somebody will cut in front of me. I'm like, okay, I can get mad at this, or I can just say, you must be in a hurry, and let it go. So I find myself being more relaxed when I drive now because I can't accelerate as fast as I want to, and I'm going to get there when I get there. And everybody else that needs to get there before me, I let them do that because I just, it's not worth my rage, and I think it's safer. And I don't know how much more time I have. And everybody else driving. That's usually my piece, but you just gotta let it roll.
Thank you. Yeah, well, and the nice thing about that is most of those things are already laws. Most of the things related to driving. I don't know if we have time. I mean, usually it's 12:40 is when we end the table topics. If we'd like to end there. Otherwise, I do have more.
Great, perfect. Thank you. We'll do our best to try to stay on time. So the next portion of our meeting is the general evaluator and his team. So I will bring Greg to the front.
Okay. Thank you, Larissa. All right, we have a couple evaluators to evaluate the speeches, and a first time a remote evaluator. So this should be interesting. And but our first evaluator, and why evaluation is important, as I had said before, it's important for us because we're trying to improve as speakers. It's important for us to get feedback that is informative, that is supportive, and that's motivating for us to improve ourselves. And that's what the evaluator's job is to do. And Susan is going to do that for, who are you evaluating? Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan.
I have to say, it's so clear that you're in the military. You're very structured. And I remember my brother was like that. So, and I think it's wonderful. And I think it's wonderful that you're following the pathways, because I don't think all of us here are. Your speech was excellent. And I give you a tremendous amount of credit for dealing with all the little glitches with, the PowerPoint and all that type of stuff. But you didn't let it faze you at all. You just went right smoothly through. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it, I've always appreciated when speakers, you tell me what you're going to tell me, and then you tell me, and then you kind of recap what you told me. So you kind of wrap it up really nicely. You're obviously very comfortable in front of an audience, which is good. You're very animated in your motion and your gestures when it's needed. And again, you're trying to dealing with the PowerPoint and the thing. You handled it very smoothly. A lot of people in that kind of case would just like, oh, it's not working. I give you a lot of credit for going through pathways. That's excellent. And you made it very easy, like we should all be doing it. I can't say there's anything I would suggest that you change, except you could have used my word of the day.
I know. I forgot what it was. Pontificate.
See?
Yeah.
See how you are? Pontificate.
Thank you.
Right. Next we have evaluator 2, which is Peggy, speaking to Ben's speech.
Awkward speech.
And then,
Hello.
everybody hear me okay?
Is what?
You hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. I didn't pass out.
Okay. Okay, well, Ben, I've heard you talk before, and this seemed, first of all, I know that we are truly in an AI world because technology has a mind of its own, and that's a little scary. The handouts, I'm sure, were they something that would follow along the presentation? That would be great.
Yeah.
do you, and I know how hard it is to put a presentation that's over an hour long into 7 minutes. I think you had a lot of great information. I thought it sometimes, though, it was a little bit fragmented. So trying to pull that all together, I think you might want to practice that a little bit more if you're going to do this again. But I thought the examples were good. I think you got away from the presentation, and we could actually relate to some of the, actually didn't get away from the presentation, but we could actually relate to some of your points because of the examples that you provided. I think you were tied to the lectern, but I really liked when you came out in front of the room and you were kind of animated that way with showing the gestures of that woman. I don't know, maybe in the future, maybe we can get away from technology and have some kind of remote slide and answer of some kind, because I think that would add to it the more space you can use in front of the room. I think that you have a lot to offer, and like I said, the presentation was I can kind of relate with you because I know I share that common goal as far as being on the CERT team. Yeah, I like the presentation that you gave. I would like to hear more about it. Like I said, I just thought it was a little bit fragmented and I didn't quite get the whole story. I don't know if you were able to go through all the slides.
No, there's like 23 slides, and we went through like 5.
That like 3-second slide, trying to do that, and that would have been very hard. But I think I can relate to it because like I said, I'm on the team with you, but I don't know if everybody else was able to get to the full gist of what we do, because there is a lot that we get called on, whether it's search and rescue, whether it's just assisting the first responders and that type of thing. So I think there's a lot more that we can dive into that with that presentation. But I like it because I know I personally can relate to it. But it was and it was a lot of information in a very short period of time. So kudos on that.
Thank you.
Perfect. And next we have the timer.
Yes. How do we do on time today? Go up. Jeremy wanted to do a 5 to 7 minutes. He's just a little bit over, 7:15. Ben wanted to do an hour and a half speech, 7 minutes, and he took 9 minutes. So good job, Ben. Table topics. We had Kathy. I love that term, pre-hammock. Never heard that before. That's great. 1 minute and 20 seconds. So very good. And Susan, exactly the same. 1 minute, 20 seconds. And Peggy, you were 1:38. And finally, for the evaluations, Susan, 1 minute 20. Maybe just a little bit short. Maybe you could have added a little bit more suggestions for improvement. Peggy had a lot of suggestions for improvement, and she went 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So that's time. Since I'm up here, we have an odd counter. And, oh, I'm sorry, first the grammarian and word of the day, right?
I didn't add any neat suggestions because I didn't see any.
Okay.
I wrote that on the evaluation form I handed her. I already filled it out.
You can make the check out to Susan Newcomb. And just deposit it when you get to work. That's where my account is, M&T. I heard no grammar issues whatsoever. You did not use my word pontificate, but the grammar and everything was great. Ben, a couple of yours were just like, words that you kind of like, instead of it's kind of like, just like a little bit of grammar issues there. But I think some of it, because you're a very good speaker, I think some of it
Not
was...
today.
Well, I think some of it was the fact that you're trying to deal with the technology.
And I only put it together this morning a couple hours ago.
Okay. Other than that, I did not hear any grammar issues from anyone when they were doing table topics or anything like that. And the only one that used the word of the day was Catherine.
Good transition to Catherine as our icon.
This was fun. Jeremy, excellent. What am I looking at Ben for?
They look alike.
I'll be wow. I was trying so hard to fill in some blanks here. The only one I caught was tiny, was this. Once, that's it. Ben, you had a few pauses, and I give you a lot of credit because you step up every time we don't have a second speaker. Thank you for doing that as somebody who
I may not do that again.
who hasn't been brave enough to stand up, so thank you. You did have a couple of pauses, a couple of 2 ands, and you had quite a few uhs. I counted 10, just for something to mark.
Well, I put those in on purpose so you could have something to
I couldn't
count.
tell which ones were the purpose, so I'll take out every other one. Larissa, you had some ums. That was the only of all these things that they give me to kind of think about here. Jake, a couple of ums and a couple of uhs. Susan, wait, let me mark myself down there. Susan, I had you down as a couple of different things. Nothing in the table topic one. I didn't grade myself. I don't know that I said any of these words, but if anybody else was tracking, feel free. Peggy, oh, that looks kind of silly. A couple of times you had I, and I find myself, so it's kind of a pause, but you filled in with I find myself, and only one Greg, I counted one and one and you were up here multiple times. To me, you seem, I don't know how many months I've been here, but you seem a lot more comfortable up here.
I'm more comfortable up there than over back here, yes.
No, seriously, because you were up and down quite a bit, and I've noticed that for whatever that's worth. And then Susan, as an evaluator, a couple ums. You had multiple evaluations, but I only counted 2 ums. And Peggy, as an evaluator, I can't read my own writing. There was a pause, several ums, and then some ums, some uhs, and then I don't know why. No, it was an I and I. You did the I, and it kind of instead of a pause, repeated the I. So that's all I had on that.
Thank you, All right, so I've called upon for general observation notes about the whole meeting, how it went. It starts with environment, the room setup, display of materials, temperature, lighting. I think it's a lovely room itself. I think this is a perfect setting for us. And I agree with us continuing to have our meetings here. We meeting time, flow start, and time transitions. We did start a little bit late. We had a bunch of technical issues, so hopefully those can be ironed out and be a much smoother meeting. Speakers, I thought you guys did an excellent job. I guess all I would suggest is if you ever have like an hour and a half and you got to do a 7 to 10 minute, a very short one, just choose a sliver. Don't try to cover half of it or most of it. Just try to choose one particular topic and concentrate on that. Say this is a section of this long speech, but I think this is important for this reason, and then cover that. That way you can get into depth in that particular topic, and I think it's more meaningful for the audience. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you.
There goes my table topics. Jake, first time doing it. I thought he did an excellent job. Good questions. It was a little short because of technical issues. If we had ironed those out, or if we do iron those out, it creates the opportunity for more participation and more questions. But overall, I think it worked pretty well.
This computer died, so I'm not sure. Peggy, can
No,
you hear
Peggy's
us?
still there.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
Okay.
here, but I don't know if she
And
was
she's hearing
listening
us?
to us through here.
Can you see us, Peggy?
She can see us, but she
I'm
can't
not
hear
sure
us.
she
So
can hear
maybe-
us anymore. I don't know whose computer
Peggy.
this is, but I'm gonna shut it.
I think the
Hey,
theme
Peggy.
of this meeting is technical issues, not 2020.
Can you hear us?
No.
I guess not. We lost Peggy. All right. Well, anyway, it was kind of a success.
Hello?
That moment.
Okay.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out.
Yes.
While Jeremy's trying to straighten things out.
Yes. But we are coming to the close of our meeting, so I'd like to invite Sterling if you'd like to say a few words.
I have one suggestion before he speaks. I'd like to maybe rename the club to the Japan Toastmasters, because I say this to myself. They feel like they're the only two making presentations. So I'm
Well,
signing up
great.
next month.
All right, thank you.
And I won't be here for the next month or two while I get my
We can zoom you on a
parts.
cruise.
I will be on narcotics and sleeping, I hope.
That should be
See
fun.
something, say something.
That's right.
And next month is Circus Love, right? Because it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, is it?
I'm sorry.
All right, I'll do circus.
I think this group is an excellent group. I'm thrilled every time I visit. I like to visit more. Area contest, February 17th. It's at the George F. Johnson Memorial Library. For those that may want to attend, it's from 9 to 1. We got the room for. I don't think it'll last that long.
God, I hope not.
I don't believe it will. I believe we'll be out early. I'm working on contestants. We do need volunteers, chief judge, judges, etc., chief contest master, and sergeant at arms.
What is the contest? What?
February 17th.
Yeah, no, not when, what, is it international speech, humorous? speech?
International and evaluation.
Evaluation?
I would like to say that I've enjoyed this meeting. I've enjoyed meeting many people here. I remember when you gave your speech. I still remember it. I've been praying to a higher power for good weather for the 17th. Also looking at Howard Banges and other weather forecasters. So I'm hoping for good weather. If you want to come, just sit there and enjoy a good speech contest, fine. Love to have you. If there's an issue, I hope not. I have a meeting tonight, Saturday, with the program quality director from the district. I'll find out more information from her Saturday. But I will try and keep all clubs posted. A quote from Mark Twain, never put off till tomorrow what may be done day after tomorrow just as well. Something to conclude. Great club. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. I appreciate everyone for coming. This was the aforementioned opportunity. If anyone has any comments or constructive criticism, especially from our guests, now is a great time. Great meeting. Love to hear it. But yes, happy 2024, everyone. I hope to see as many of you as I can next month. Thank you.